Hey, it's Greg the Food Fixer, and today we're going to fix something a little bit special. Now, I'm a fan of bacon and eggs and toast. Who isn't? It's the all-American meal, right? But today, a Saturday, I've got a few more minutes to spend. I'm looking for something a little more flavorful, a little more interesting, and you just can't go wrong with breakfast soft tacos. It's going to be quick, it's going to be easy as usual, and everyone's going to love it, I promise. So let's start with the ingredients. Very simple things here. We've got some corn tortillas. Now, what I like to do with the corn tortillas, these are the kind that you buy, they're raw, and you cook them. They're so much better. There's nothing wrong with the packaged kind. If you want to buy that, that's fine. These take a couple of more minutes, but the flavor is so much more worth it. If you've never had a fresh cooked tortilla, trust me on this. I got these at Walmart. Shouldn't be hard to find. You can order them off Amazon as well. So we're just gonna start by throwing these in a hot skillet. I've got it on medium heat. It's gonna be a pretty quick process. We're gonna go ahead and get that going. And then moving along, we've got chorizo. A chorizo it's basically a Mexican sausage. Very flavorful. It's used in a lot of dishes, but this is one of my favorites. So we're just gonna put the chorizo in a pan there, and you just cook it like you would ground beef. We're just gonna cook it down, chop it up as we go. And I would cook it on medium, low heat. It's got a tendency to splatter a little bit. So we'll get that going. Now, I've got this taco plate. It cost me $1 at Walmart. I really like to use them because we want to prop our tortilla up to fill it when we're done here. So I recommend you pick up some of those. You can get some fancier ones, of course. There's a link in the description below where you can pick those up. Some other things we have here are onion. We've got a jalapeno. That's up to you. If you want to use those, they definitely add flavor. It also adds a little more time. And I'm just wanting to do the quick and dirty 10-minute delicious, get something hot on the table breakfast. So we're just going to go basically with the sausage, eggs, a little bit of seasoning, tortilla, and of course, cheese. And I've got some quesadilla cheese. It's a good, easy melting Mexican cheese. If you have cheddar, that's fine. Monterey Jack, that's fine. Pepper Jack, that might be interesting. Use your imagination here. You can't do anything wrong, so go for it. You want to put some diced tomatoes in there? Put some diced tomatoes in there. But like I said, we're going to do the quick, easy. And then the one final ingredient, probably the most important, would be the eggs. I'm just making a portion for 2 here, so we just need 2 eggs. But if you're doing a larger batch, I would count on about 2 eggs per person. As far as the chorizo goes, I don't know, you'll have to eyeball it. Maybe 1/4 cup per person. A couple of things I have here that's cooking down nicely. Chorizo gets greasy. I'm not a big fan of grease, so I'm going to strain it into our trusty solo cup. So we'll have that going here in a minute. It's about time to flip this tortilla. Cook the other side. This is cooking down nicely. Believe it or not, we're about 1/3 of the way there. So let's let that cook a minute. I forgot to get the eggs out of the fridge, so. All right, we have our eggs. We have our chorizo cooking, our tortillas cooking. Got everything we need. Sometimes these tortillas are puff up a little bit and you just smash them back down or pierce them with a knife. That one's about ready to go. This is about done here. The chorizo doesn't take long to cook at all. We're gonna get our next tortilla ready. And if you have a few of these, start off cooking your tortillas. You can always heat them up if you need to later when it's time to put the breakfast on the table. But we're gonna go ahead and take that out, put our next one in. And then you just wanna fold it up, and as it cools, it's gonna be a little more crispy there. All right, it looks like our chorizo is about finished. So now it's time to strain it. And I do like to save a little bit of that grease for the eggs that we're gonna cook in a minute. So instead of just pouring it into our strainer or cup, I'm actually gonna get it out like this so that I can save some. I can hear it straining already. Like I said, it tends to produce some grease. So I'm just gonna let that strain for a couple of minutes. And timing, you know, is everything when you're making breakfast. I like all of it to come together at the same time. So being part of being a good food fixer is working on your timing. So far we're looking pretty good here. I know I need about 3 more minutes to cook my eggs. I think we're in pretty good shape. I'm gonna go ahead and give the pan a little bit of a spray. We don't like eggs that stick. And of course we'll just crack our eggs into the pan. Now I'm gonna show you how to make the perfect scrambled eggs in another video, but this is a bit of a primer here. You don't have to mix your eggs in a bowl before you scramble them. You're actually scrambling them and then scrambling them again when you do that. So we're just gonna crack them in the pan and start to scramble from here. So seasoning. Chorizo's got a lot of flavor. You would be just fine if you did chorizo and eggs and nothing else. Nothing wrong with that. In fact, you might want to try that the first time. I'm going to kick mine up a notch with just a little more flavor. So, of course, we need to season with a little bit of salt. And then I'm going to put in some cumin, just a bit, some garlic powder, and some chipotle chili powder, just to kick it up a notch and add a little more kick to it. Time to turn the tortilla, keep going on the eggs, and we'll just mix all this up in the pan just like this. The key to scrambling eggs, I think, is to cook them on medium to medium-high heat. And you gotta keep them moving. So scorched eggs are probably the worst thing you could do, in my opinion, and they stink. So we wanna keep them moving. And when it gets to be about this consistency, we're gonna go ahead and add our cheese. At this point, it's gonna start melting, but we don't want it to be melted where it's just a sticky, gooey mess. So if we go ahead and mix it in now, it's going to be, I think, just the right consistency here. All right, it's about that time. Tortilla looks good. Maybe a couple more seconds on that. Go ahead and put our chorizo in now. And we're just gonna mix this all together. So we've got our eggs, we've got our chorizo, we have our cheese, we have some seasoning, we have our fresh cooked tortillas, which are done. We have our eggs, which are done. I'm just gonna turn it off and let it sit there for a moment. Fold this taco up again. Now come on, it took what? 8 minutes to whip this breakfast up. And I'm telling you, you talk about flavor, this is where it's at right here. Goes good with a lot of things. Of course, you can cook up some breakfast potatoes or some hash browns if you want to. For me, I'm actually gonna eat this. I've been up for about 4 hours and I haven't had breakfast yet. So for me, this is gonna be good and plenty. All right, look at that. That's just beautiful. We've got to get all of it there. And then last but not least, just for a little more kick, the flavor, we're going to add some chorizo. Some cilantro. Now, people tend to either really like cilantro or not like it at all. You should know for you and your family how you feel about it. I'm a big fan. I think it goes great with a lot of things. But if you don't like it, don't use it. And there you have it. Breakfast tacos. Try this out. Right on. If you want to add salsa, sour cream, a little more cheese, have at it. These I'm going to devour. I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope you find the food delicious. Now would be a great time to smash that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. We're going to make a lot of good stuff in the future and you're going to want to be there for it. Hit that bell too. It'll let you know when a new video's out and that'll be your next great meal. See you next time.